What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the broader markets. I'm going to break down some big news that just came out that's very important for NIO. What's going to likely happen tomorrow is we're seeing some new developments on the chart. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link that's down below, or use my QR code right over here to sign up. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you're going to get $20 of free NVIDIA stock. If you deposit $2,000, you're going to get $50 worth of NVIDIA plus a $100 cash reward. Deposits $10,000 or more to get $300 worth of NVIDIA for free plus $100, or deposit $50,000 or more to get $1,000 of free NVIDIA stock plus $100. You're also going to qualify for an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon, so please use my link down below to get those free benefits. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with NIO. So NIO saw a bit of a liquidity grab right over here, and then we ended up seeing a bit of a sell-off after NIO Day. It was kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news sort of event. And as a result, I do anticipate some more downside, at least just temporarily. So NIO had their NIO Day 2025. We had the highlights that just came out. It's also themed as Grow with the Light, and they basically gave us a good summary of what essentially went down. It was a very, very awesome event, and you guys can see that there's just been a lot of talk about their ES8. And I think this is very, very great stuff. Bank of America Securities also raised their price target on NIO to $7.60 from $7.10 before. And with the big event that happened, NIO told investors that they have once again seen a lot of these battery swaps continuing to grow, as we have over 3,500 of them. And we're starting to see a lot of growth, in my personal opinion. They also unveiled their third generation ES8 SUV, which is awesome, with delivery set to begin on Sunday. But we already knew about this, right? This is not necessarily new news. So this was kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news event. We already pumped so hard approaching NIO Day, which is why we typically sell off a bit. It also has a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack, and it's very, very affordable, very cool, very competitive in Europe as well. On top of this, when you look at their overall growth projections, we start off the first half of the year quite strongly. If we continue to see 30,000 delivery months over and over and over again, we could surpass our records and look for closer to 400,000 deliveries for the year. It's possible, but we have to continue to maintain the strong numbers we've been seeing. If we do that, it's very, very possible to see strong numbers like that. On top of that, they also talked about a lot of the specs of their ES8 and also a lot of the growth that's continuing to come. And we also want to just look at the fact that they have a collection of about 9,900 plus patents, and they have lots of very important full stack technological domains. Very, very bullish news. Besides that, not only are they innovating with their ES8, they also talked about their ET9 Horizon Edition. Very awesome stuff as well. We were talking about this in our previous videos. And once again, just awesome, awesome stuff in my opinion. So many analysts are very bullish. Their overall SUVs are very, very strong. And their new Horizon Edition is looking very, very promising. So that's a lot of awesome news, at least so far. So for NIO, with this bearish divergence, we did get a bit of rejection right here. But I just wanted to make it very clear that despite that happening, we have this support down here around this 6.7 area. So watch 6.7. We're going to see if we bounce off this or not. If we don't hold this, we could be dipping more towards like 6.5. There's also a gap down here to fill, so watch that very closely to see how we end up moving. On top of this, when it comes to our economic calendar, tomorrow is going to be a big day for the American markets because tomorrow is going to be Tuesday. And going into tomorrow, we actually have some data coming out at 9:45 a.m. alongside Jerome Powell, the big guy, giving a speech at 12:35 p.m. That may cause some volatility. With inflation still technically on an uptrend, will we see it fall like a rock, like Jerome Powell is saying, or will it continue to hold up? We'll see about that as we have some mixed data. And then when it comes to earnings, just keep in mind we have Costco on Thursday, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is just quite minor. So what's happening with NIO? As you guys know, NIO is looking very, very strong the last couple of days. But once we grab liquidity at 7.6, we ended up seeing a bit of a dip. I think tomorrow we could continue to fall for 6.7. We have to hold this. If we don't hold 6.7, we could be dipping to 6.4. But if we get back above 7.08, we're looking for a big bounce to 7.4. But overall, there is going to be a risk of some downside. We could kind of pop and dip for like 6.7, maybe even dip lower. if this continues to fall. So be very, very careful, especially after what we're seeing for NIO, at least thus far. The ES8 SUV and their ET9 are both very, very awesome vehicles, but the issue that we're seeing is that a lot of that was already priced in. So I do think we're kind of seeing like a sell the news kind of like event. And as a result, NIO does have some more downside potential to retest 6.7 or below just temporarily. It's just going to be a temporary dip. So keep that in mind. As far as spies going, however, we're looking quite bullish. Now, it does depend on Jerome Powell tomorrow and our data. If we lose 665, we're going to be looking for a dip to 662. But if we break past 667.5, we're going to be looking for new all-time highs. As of right now, we're looking quite bullish, and we do like to dip in the mornings before continuing to push. And we could be looking for 668 to 670 very soon as we look more bullish. On the QQQ, we're breaking out right now. I think we're doing a fantastic job. If we lose 600, we're looking for a dump back down. But as long as we're above that, we're going to be favoring a push for 604 to 605. I think that as of right now, we're looking quite good. So we're going to have to see what happens, at least thus far. So from what I'm seeing, I think we're looking a little bit more bullish. We could continue to break out. The QQQ is looking very strong. We might see a retest of 600 to 602 flat tomorrow. Then we could continue to uptrend for 604 if this trend continues. But it also depends on Jerome Powell. The IWM is bouncing off its 20 EMA. We have to lose 242 to be bearish. As long as we're above this, we're going to be favoring a push for basically 245. On ES, we've been making higher lows. As long as we don't lose 6,700, we're going to be favoring 6760 or above. For NQ, as long as we don't end up losing 24,800, we're going to be favoring 25,000. If that breaks, we could be pushing a lot higher. I think this is going to likely continue to uptrend for the 25,100 mark, so it's still looking quite good. Bitcoin has been dipping a bit, but we are forming a base right here around 112,000. As long as we hold this, we're looking for a bounce back up to 114,500 tomorrow. Tesla is showing some weakness. We start off with a very, very nice pump, but then we start to slow down. We might pop and retest 440 before continuing to fall a bit for like 430. There's tough resistance at the 440, so we got a bit of a rejection, and we might be returning to fill the gap at 425. So there could be some downside coming to Tesla. Nvidia is going to be investing hundreds of millions or over $100 million into, I believe, OpenAI, which is bullish news. If we lose 180, we could be turning down. As long as we're above 180, we might dip a little bit to 182 before we bounce for 185 plus. So it's still bullish. Apple's looking more bullish, favoring 260 plus. Netflix is looking more bullish as we're making higher lows. So long as we don't lose 1220, we're going to be favoring 1250. For AMD, so long as we don't lose 157, we're going to be favoring a push for 162. Coinbase is looking decent. As long as we don't end up losing 325, we're going to be favoring 340 as our resistance. Amazon's looking decent. As long as we don't lose 226, we're going to be favoring 230. For Meta, we have resistance at 772. We're going to see if we can break that or not for a temporary bounce. Google's holding support at 251. As long as it holds, we're looking for 255. And then Microsoft is going to be favoring 518, so that could also lead to more upside. The VIX is starting to push a bit. Will it kind of push and reject, or does it just continue to break out? Could that mean the market comes down a bit tomorrow before it dips again? The VIX likes to gap up and dip. We did this many days in a row. So it might gap up tomorrow, then come back down. And that could be in correlation with the market trying to go a little bit higher. For now, the market remains bullish until we see a break. But NIO is a little bit weak after NIO day. Could dip for 6.7 to 6.5 tomorrow. So be careful, guys. Then we're going to see if we could bounce off that range. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. Have an awesome rest of your guys' days. And I'll be back tomorrow with another upload. Until then, NIO day was awesome, very promising, and we're waiting for deliveries. Let's see if we continue these high deliveries to eventually reach profitability in the upcoming months or upcoming quarters. I think we're getting closer, and I'm very excited for what the future holds as there's so much more upside potential. Different analysts from JP Morgan and other big companies do expect $8+ a share soon. So even if we dip a bit, it could be another buying opportunity for NIO stock. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a good one, and peace out.